Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to do a whenever you just go into it.
Oh, well, I fucked that all up. Welcome back to our yet to be named podcast. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, is this mic on?
That's bad.
Yeah. Thanks.
Give me.
No.
Do
No, do what? You giving me directions?
do it again, but don't suck.
Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. No, just tell me about your party. It's fine. Like, it's
All
cool.
right. So, I didn't even want to come here today.
Did you really?
I'm so tired. But the party, it was awesome. I never win anything, and we did we always do a raffle. Whenever the ticket was handed to me, I'm like, I better win. I better fucking win. Knowing that I'm not going to win, because I never win. Turns out, they're giving the small prizes away, like Spotify, 3 months, card, and, here's a gift card to Amazon and some other things. I gave up. I'm like, it's getting towards the end.
Are you with your girlfriend too at this point?
Yeah, I believe she was across from me, and I'm just like, I'm not even looking at my numbers anymore. I'm like, my chance is long gone.
Life was only good for you the past week being in California. You don't deserve any, I guess things were going too well for me. Okay, Ross.
So my friend next to me knew my number, and she hears it get called. She's like, "That's your number. That's your number." And I'm like, "What?"
I can see you doing this.
And I'm like, "Oh my God." I jump up. I go running up towards the stage. I see the box.
Wait, how many people are at this party?
I'd say
if there's a stage involved, I imagine that it's a bigger party.
I'd say between 50 and 70.
Okay.
So I see the box in her hands. I'm trying to make it out. I get up to it and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's a Nintendo Switch."
Oh.
Yes. I was like, "Oh my God."
I'm beginning to smell the next 3 months of our show.
It's the new version, the Nintendo Lite.
Okay.
It's turquoise, a beautiful color. They even packaged in a 128 megabyte or gigabyte SD card for it. So I'm like, I'm ready to go.
I started my new job this week. I'm so happy for you. You want a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Did you like that? That's not how you thought your day was going to go, I bet.
I know. And the friend next to me, the one that knew my number, she won a PS4. Yeah. So we were both just giddy as hell.
What was your girlfriend doing?
She was just in amazement of seeing both of our reactions. Because we, people, obviously you don't get too excited getting 3 months of free Spotify.
Wow, but, thanks for my 6-month gym membership.
Yeah. So, and being that we were, taking home some of the biggest prizes that night, it was pretty cool.
Was there anything that you wish you would have won instead? Because it sounded like throughout the night the prizes were getting better and better and better. What was the big prize that you remember?
I think the PS4 was the big prize. I don't know if there was. I think I think they've done iPads and stuff before.
I just imagine you just
I know. I was
fuck this.
It was so great, And
so wait. So once your number was picked, is it out for the rest of the prizes or something like that, or could your number keep getting picked?
No, No, once it's picked.
You got to be feeling better then. May the odds be ever in your favor at that point. Like the further along it gets, like my chances are increasing.
So I'm like, I don't need to win anything ever again. I'd never win anything in life. I came through last night so bad.
My dad does nothing but win. He won 4 baskets once at a dance recital for my daughter. He bought 4 tickets.
Wow.
Right? Like I just see people looking, especially people I know that I'm no longer associated with, just kind of look at him and just literally had 4 baskets. He won like groceries. He won soap. He won like sports themed stuff. But no, never have I won a game system.
I know.
I won a thermos once.
Yeah, that's you. If I do win, it's usually
and I'm happy.
Something.
Like
yeah,
I'm so thankful I won this. Thank you.
Appreciate that goddamn thermos.
It was a Penn's thermos. It's still on top of my fridge, I think. There's a little push button, the lid pops off just like that. It's nothing. It's not like a switch, but good for you. Yeah. I can't wait to see it here one day.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Do you have a projector?
A projector? No, I don't.
I was gonna say we could play it against this wall or something like that.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be something different.
Yeah,
it'd be fun. What games could you get for a Switch?
I was playing Super Mario Odyssey.
You already busted it out, right? Like I'm sure, like the next day or wait, you opened that up this morning then?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Tired as hell, hungover. But yeah.
So I dragged you away from that, didn't I?
No, I was just like too tired to be here, and I just wanted to like be in my pajamas all day.
You could have came here in your pajamas. I wouldn't have cared.
I practically am.
Those are kind of loose and like soft.
You can see the outline of my ball sack.
I did notice that earlier.
But
like little things.
Yeah, it's the little things that count, Tim.
Yeah, right.
But so AEW this week was pretty fucking awesome. Well, we got the strap match, or not the strap match, but the lashings.
I started getting queasy after the 3rd lashing.
You watched it?
I watched it. I watched it online, or I watched it on. I watched it on an app of some kind.
Yeah.
And it was I asked you, did they tell a story with it? Did it look pretty good? And you went, yeah, it looked pretty good.
He sold it.
It was powerful. It was a powerful, especially every so often. Like the thing that really got me is when you started watching wrestlers come out and look from the distance, like they're watching their boss get this, and like this is a moment like where just it felt very real.
Yeah,
and the fact that Arn Anderson came out, and then the Young Bucks came out. And then Brandy came out, and he's tearing up, and she's just like, "Listen, baby, just one more. You can do that." Like that's when I like got like 1 or 2 rolled down. Like I was rolling a couple. Just like sometimes you need that wife, you need that woman, that rock, and just looking at him like they're holding hands, and the way he's looking, and you just see it like this is storytelling. Mm-hmm. The idea that they did this 10 lashes, and that at the 8th or 9th lash when he gave it to his
Wardlow,
and he's like, "I'm getting," and he just
with all his might, just
it was the only one where Cody like yelped, like like it was different. Like the other ones, like he was falling to the ground or grimacing. That's the only one where he like just open mouthed, like that looked uncomfortably painful. Not that pain should be comforting, but like it looked another gear, 2nd level, 3rd, whatever you want to call it. It looked outright brutal. Even for television, it looked brutal. And the fact that they got away with that on the air and it told a story and makes me want to invest in AEW even more, and not to be outdone by Jon Moxley and his eye patch.
Yeah. Did you see? I
didn't see that, but I saw parts of it, and I just was so distracted.
Well, the Dynamite opened with Jon Moxley going up against Santana Ortiz.
Okay.
And Santana, he he hasn't done like a singles match in years.
Really?
Yeah, so and this was a really great match. But so John wins and he pulls out Jericho and all his cronies.
Was it his Spike or something like that?
All his cronies are at the the announcer booth and
observing the match with the
yeah. And so John pulls out the car keys that he got from Jericho, that really nice Ford GT whatever.
Yeah.
And he's holding Ortiz there, and
did he
just stabs him in the eye and goes off running into the crowd.
so assault and battery.
Eye for an eye.
I see what you did there, John.
And
I can't believe it.
Yeah. And later that night, Ortiz gets bandaged up backstage and
eye for an eye.
Cuts a promo. He's like, he says there's going to be an eye for an eye match or something, and I'm like, how many eyes are we going to lose?
Like, how many eyes are left?
Yeah.
One of you is going to be permanently blind.
And then also Britt Baker.
Oh my God, I am in love with this woman.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She's from Pittsburgh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like that, like I can't wait till they do a show in Philadelphia. Like if she just like or Cleveland she pissed over Cleveland already. Mm-hmm. Just like I'm gonna be the best Baker here, making fun of Baker Mayfield, the quarterback for the Browns, and like naturally getting heat. And she's not even dazed or just the crowd does not faze her whatsoever. She just keeps talking like this and saying that you people are beneath me. I am a doctor. Tony, you need work on your molar, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
She is so perfect on the mic, just so natural. It's been such a long time since I've seen someone, even the ones in WWE, the great ones, they seem somewhat scripted. She just looks like she's just going off the top of her head. Mm-hmm. Like, I got better insults all day for every single one of you pathetic fuckers here.
Yeah.
And the fact that, she
tore into Jim Ross.
Right? Like you can't even get the roster's names correct, blah, blah.
I'm like, oh, no, Jim.
And he's just sitting there just like, he ain't saying nothing.
I felt for him.
I didn't. I'm like, oh my God, she is melting my TV at the moment.
Yeah.
This promo is on fire.
She first turned heel on AEW. It was the week before on the Jericho's boat. Whenever she's tearing into Tony
again, and that's when he gives the oh fuck thing, right? She just goes,
yeah,
fuck.
And she's talking about him working at Starbucks.
Yeah.
I was like, why'd she bring that up? Like, did he he didn't really work at Starbucks? I Googled it. He fucking worked at Starbucks. I was like, oh my God. That is great though. Like, hey, Tony's giving her material.
Make me a drink. Yeah, right. Make me a drink while I cut this promo, bitch. Kind of. She is just she is a reason I want to tune into AEW every week. She
oh yeah,
and that's something wrestling is missing right now. People to watch, just someone that you want to I haven't felt that way in a long time about a female wrestler. I mean, Becky kind of had it a year ago, but as we talked about on our previous show, that it's becoming a complacent product. It's stale. So I would love to see what Britt Baker does next.
Well, so she has her match with Yuka Sakazaki.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm butchering her last name,
Probably.
I'm sure. But she pulls the tooth. She pulls one of the teeth out. So we're losing eyes. We're losing teeth.
What's next?
Yes. There's blood in her mouth and everything.
And
it's just
Cody's getting his back ripped up to shreds from a belt.
Yeah.
Oh, and back to MJF, just him, he was doing a great job on it. I love how he took the belt like this, folded over, and he made a whipping sound just to torn. That's a professional dick right there. He's another reason to tune into that show.
Not my belt, your belt.
Yeah. I'm like, is this necessary?
Yeah.
Like, is this fucking necessary? Like, oh, it's all good. Oh, and Dustin came out too.
Yeah. He's like,
let me take the rest.
I'll take it.
And that was another where I was getting a little frog in my throat, like the hard note, like, look, he's being a big brother. I'll take his lashes. No, that's not part of the deal. Mm-hmm. It's not part of the deal. And he's doing that resting on the ring ropes thing where he's just like propped up. And Bully Ray, Bubba Ray Dudley, who has a show, the way he describes WWE and AEW, he goes, they may do more gifted matches at WWE, but the wrestlers are telling better stories at AEW because they're just given some freedom to do whatever that they need to do.
Yeah.
Even in their matches where they might not be technically sound or whatever, they're pulling it off.
Oh, yeah.
In a way that WWE is missing right now. And I can't disagree with that. They're doing one show a week. And it's a great show, it seems like, every single week, no matter how full or how small the venue is. They're doing the best they can with what they got.
Yeah. I'm amazed. Everyone on their roster has a storyline going. And it builds each week. It builds into something.
It seems like the roster is competing with itself, which is healthy, where the opening match and the closing match or any part of the card, any backstage interview, any backstage segment, anything is up for competition with everybody else. And it's a young roster, too. You need a young roster.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to prove themselves because a year ago, a lot of these people weren't getting any TV time in the United States at all. Maybe some elsewhere, depending on where their origins are, but it's nice to see that this is actually happening on a wrestling show for once.
It couldn't come at a worse time because it's sounding like WWE's in financial trouble.
Well, they gave away all their money to this football league that started today.
Yeah.
But it wasn't terrible football, I gotta say. It looked like it was it looked better.
Better than the XFL.
The original was gimmicky. However, there were certain things that XFL started that is now the Sky Cam started in the XFL. The camera that's on the wires go. That was an XFL thing. Cameras running onto the field was an XFL thing. Now they're doing things where like the coaches are mic'd and you can hear them yell out plays, and the fact that they're going to players immediately, like as they screw up a play, like, what were you thinking? They hold up a mic to them and the kicker's like, I just kind of suck. Something like that. So it looked like real football with bad football players, but it still looked like real football with real changes that I think the NFL will eventually learn from. So who knows? We'll see. But
do you know how many teams and how many?
There's 8 teams. I think they're doing a 10-week schedule and then a 2-week playoff that includes the championship. The games run much faster. The kickoff rules are different. Basically, in the NFL, there's no kickoffs at this point. They kick the ball, goes in the end zone. It's a dead play. Nobody's returning. They've done something very different in the XFL that allows the play to still happen while maintaining player safety. So there's not like like in the kickoffs, you see players running like almost the length of the field at each other. That ain't how it works now. So that rule that they're doing seems pretty interesting. It just seems kind of like they're trying things out, and it's being run by a guy that has football knowledge. Andrew Luck's father, Oliver Luck, is in charge of this, and he has a lot of NFL experience. And him being basically the commissioner of the XFL, it looked like it was off to a pretty decent start today. So we'll see how it goes too.
Well, I hope so, because Vinny needs that money.
Yeah. And with what he's doing with possibly pay-per-views, putting up for sale, like, why have a network then? Like, part of me goes, like, I'm not going to go to the network for anything else. You're not putting anything new out that's worth watching for $9.99 a month.
When the network was first announced, I believe it was going to be, like, the 4 big pay-per-views.
It's been 5 or 6 years now.
But they had something a little different in mind, and But then when the network launched, it was, no, you get all the pay-per-views.
And now that's what the audience is going to expect.
Yeah, but they lost so much money from no longer getting all that pay-per-view buy. And because remember, it was like, what?
You're paying $69 or $59 per pay-per-view. WrestleMania was even more.
Yeah.
Because it was a 5-hour show at that point.
And they wanted this thing to be successful, so they gave them all away. And, they did get to be pretty big, but like now they're starting to, not make up their numbers. And
what do you expect them to do? Like people are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
I'm pissed.
The thing is like, yeah, if they take away pay-per-views, like I would have no reason to get the network. Like I'm
not going to watch old episodes of Raw.
Yeah, and you know what? I already downloaded all those episodes of Raw. So if I do want to watch them, like I'm not gonna pay $9.99 a month for the old shit.
You gotta come up with some better original content. Like some of the original content that, like the Monday Night Wars was pretty cool.
Oh, the best!
I love the 24/7 or the 24 hours where they follow the day in the life of an event or a pay-per-view or a wrestler.
Yeah, and
I think those are pretty good.
The documentary coming out on the
Ruthless Aggression era looks pretty good. They did something once, and I thought they would do more. It's called Breaking Ground, where they followed NXT stars basically living poor and learning and all that kind of stuff. They did like 6 or 8 episodes of that, and they never touched that again. That was like 3 or 4 years ago. Like, why aren't we seeing more of that?
Yeah.
Watching people trying to break into the to full Full Sail or something like that they're training at. Like, why aren't we seeing more of that? I would love to see that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that gets people hooked into new wrestlers.
Yeah.
You basically see that with real sports anyways. For example, the NFL Combine. Do you know what the Combine is? If you don't, I'll explain it to you. When college athletes declare for the draft, whether they're a senior or they want to leave early, they go to the Combine, where they get asked a bunch of questions by every NFL team, like, hey, let me see your phone. And players are like, what? And they go, let me see your phone. And players are like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to show you my phone. And that's when coaches are like, well, at least we know we can trust you with a playbook. So it's a lot of like, how does your mind work? And then they do their 40-yard dashes, how much you can bench press, how high you can jump. Like, it's nice to see how athletes react to testing and conditioning and coaching in the WWE lower levels. And I think that's something that a lot of us would like to see and become fan favorites of people that are trying hard, or maybe we don't like how arrogant this person is because maybe he's picking it up really well. I don't know. But WWE Network's not doing anything like that. They're just kind of giving us fodder.
Yeah. So, Tim, I'm really excited about this. Sam Raimi might be directing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Right? Now, I believe it was Scott Derrickson was directing. He directed the first Doctor Strange. I thought he did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the direction that has been stated by Kevin Feige and others at Marvel was, this is going to be a horror film. This is going to be the MCU's first actual horror film. We're going to go into the horror genre. That's strictly what this film's going to be. I don't suspect many laughs or, to be honest, a ton of special effects. I think this is going to be kind of toned down a little bit. Scarlet Witch is going to be in it. That's a confirmed character. It is also possible that Loki might have an appearance in it.
Oh.
And the fact that it's going to really kick off the multiverse, I think Sam Raimi, if he sticks along with his Evil Dead work and not necessarily his Spider-Man work, I think this is going to be astonishing. I think this will, I don't want to say revive his career, but I think it would be a nice second act to his career because he's done some work, hits and misses.
Yeah.
Some ambitious work. He did the Wizard of Oz prequel, which I thought was good and bad. Like, it was a story that I don't think was needed, but it was a pretty It seemed
That one suffered the same kind of thing where like Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, just so much CGI and I don't know, like less heart in the movie.
right.
And then you have Spider-Man 3.
That was no pun intended, but it was a tangled mess. That
Yeah.
movie had some good moments, but we all remember the emo Spider-Man dance. That's what that movie has basically been painted with at this. Like that's the one thing that everybody takes away.
Yeah. There's things about that movie that I really like, but having Venom and the casting was just
All bad.
yeah. But Venom was never one that he was, familiar with.
And
It
back
was forced on him.
and back to Sam Raimi. I remember the day I told you, I broke the news to you that they were rebooting Spider-Man. You were upset, devastated. You were not happy.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned that they're going to go in a grittier direction, and you were just like, I cannot believe we're not going to get a fourth one. Because it was supposed to involve the Vulture, and John Malkovich was actually attached to possibly play the Vulture. And they just could not get that project off the ground. Sony was like, we're starting over. If it was Sony at the time. I think it was Sony at the time. But now that Raimi's had some time away from that property that he took great care of. He took some liberties with artistic creativeness, like the web shooters being all natural, part of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Some people really didn't like, and Green Goblin being mechanical like a soldier wasn't exactly the favorite thing, but he still did a great job with that. So I'm not saying that I'm holding my breath and I'm nervous about this, but I'm not even cautious, but it's one of those, let's wait and see how this develops, because it's not like he's restarting a franchise from scratch. Doctor Strange has been already in 4 different Marvel movies. He's been in Doctor Strange movie, he had a cameo in Thor Ragnarok, which was pretty good, and he was in both Avengers, Endgame and Infinity War. And so he's going to have a lot of groundwork already. Pipe's already been laid.
Yeah.
He's going to put his own touch on it. And see how it goes.
I say this is going to make all the money in the world.
It's going to be.
And here's why. Because if you point to his successes, which people like the Spider-Man trilogy, number 2 was probably their favorite.
And it's still one of the best comic movies of all time.
Who was one of the main characters? A doctor. Doc Ock.
That's what you're tying this with.
Let's look at Darkman, another fine
all right.
Sam Raimi flick.
Yes, it is.
And we had a doctor.
It's the medical profession.
So...
or the theoretical.
Dr. Peyton Westlake. So he's got a thing with doctors. He can make this work. Doctor Strange.
I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. You're way excited.
Yes.
And it's like, as you go to Star Wars movies and I'm there for you, when I go to Marvel movies, you're there for me.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange has come off as a really, really strong character. Some characters not so much. Like Ant-Man's probably a property that could be dealt with in a stronger tone. It doesn't make all the money in the world. It does fine for what it does. But now that you have a lot of properties going over to Disney Plus, and you have some main characters that are done, like we're not going to see really Captain America the way we used to see him anymore. We're not going to see Iron Man conceivably the same way ever again. So you need some other main, like grade A, top of the list actors that are going to carry the Marvel torch for a while. And Doctor Strange is probably going to be the main one until we get the Fantastic Four and the X-Men into to the mix. So he's got to he's going to be carrying the torch for the next few years. And if Kevin Feige, who I feel like people should surround him with shields and bulletproof vests, like just keep this man alive in bubble wrap. If he believes that Sam Raimi is the next best choice in the direction they want to go, and Kevin I trust. Because Sam has proven that he can pull off a franchise and make it work. Like Spider-Man, the train sequence on Spider-Man 2 is breathtaking. Especially when he loses his mask and he's still talking to people on the train, just like, you got any more bright ideas? He's like, yeah, I got a few. And you see him do the struggling, and Toby's face, like you see the arms just bulge and muscles and the suit rip, and he saves that train from going off on a full derailment, and the people carrying him in the back and all that. He can pull off some powerful things. I don't think necessarily he has to do that with this film. It is meant to... This movie, I think, for the next phase of Marvel movies is going to be what The Winter Soldier did, where it changed up everything when they got rid of S.H.I.E.L.D. and divided up everything, where Thor Ragnarok kind of changed a lot of things with Asgard. Like, this is going to be probably the landmark movie. This is where you're going to plant the flag in Phase 4, saying that this is where Marvel's going for the next foreseeable, for the next couple of years, for the foreseeable future. And with the other characters being added, who knows where this is going to be? Because the timeline's all messed up. Loki's running around, as in 2012, Avengers Loki's running around. He disappeared with the Tesseract. You got Scarlet Witch, who her powers just keep getting bigger and better, and she's more confident as a character. And with her show, WandaVision, coming out, we don't know where that's going. That show, if you saw the Super Bowl ad, or the Super Bowl, or the big game, I can't say that word.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my bad. Anyways, you see the big game spot. I don't know where this is going. That's probably what the intrigue is as well. We don't know where this is going. This could go in a bunch of different ways. So, did you like the first Doctor Strange?
I thought it was all right. I didn't love it. It was there, you know. I love.
What did you like about it?
The thing is I love the Doctor Strange comics from the early 60s by Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, and people at the time that were reading those comics thought that the artist was, you know, on some like really crazy psychedelic drugs. Like, that's what you get out of the art. It's just totally like a mind trip, and you don't get that. Like, I don't think you get that visually. It's lost.
So let's say when he gets to the temple, where Doctor Strange in the first film gets to the temple and he meets the Ancient One, and he's trying to figure out how, like, you can fix me. How do you fix? And it's like, oh, have you seen this? And like, it's shockers and all these things. Like, I've seen this at airports and gift shops and blah blah blah. So when it gets to that point where she sends him through. Also, like, that wasn't psychedelic to you, or at least not to the level that you were hoping for.
No,
it didn't scream Ditko to you.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying. Okay, that's a fair argument. I think that it's possible that we might see something completely different, because Sam Raimi can be visually stunning with a lot less.
Yeah,
like, just.
I love his...
Watch the first Evil Dead, even though it's kind of weird and silly, like when you look back at it, because he was trying a serious tone. Still, the image of whatever is in the woods going at such fast speed chasing, that's scary. That's a terrifying, like, the camera work, and that's all you had in the 70s and 80s. Well, special effects didn't really exist for movies like that. He relied on his visual prowess for shots like that, and knowing that maybe this is what's going to work. And the fact that if he brings that tone to the amount of assets that Marvel or that Disney has, I think can be something really special if he can. What I worry about is, like, Ron Howard getting Solo.
Yeah.
You're taking a really talented director and throwing him in something that he may not be familiar with, or something that he's no longer in touch with.
It's not his passion project.
Right? Where he still does his best, but it comes across kind of flat. And I don't blame Ron Howard for Solo. There's a lot of people to be blamed for Solo, and he's not one of them.
Yeah.
He did his best. That's where my concern is, because even though they're two different properties run by two different people, you got Kathleen Kennedy for Star Wars and you got Kevin Feige for Marvel. He's got the task of continuing 22 films, and we're going to get Black Widow in a few months. And I think this comes out next year. I think this comes out like in April or May of next year. So it's one film this year. Then we get a bunch of Disney Plus, and then it gets back into a couple films next year along with all the shows that are coming. I'm happy you're happy.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I get it. But
if this brings you into Marvel even more, it makes you excited to see what they're going to do. Because I know you said they're kind of like a factory at this point. You know what kind of flavor you're getting with all of these. Even though they change genres, it all has the same set of tone or the look. It just matches. It's all consistent with each other.
And Sam has a visual style that is unlike a lot of the...
Right, it is different.
Yeah.
It's very close up. It's very like in your face.
I love all those, like all the dolly shots, the push pull.
Yes,
that to me is just very
minus the Dutch tilt. Right,
it's very comic book like where the artist.
There you go. Talk about that. Talk about the comic book look. Tell me what you're looking for.
Well, when an artist draws a bunch of lines all going towards the center, that's kind of saying that this is a zoom in shot.
It's like pulling you in or going out, and it's probably meant for speed too.
So I know you've seen, in Evil Dead, Ash turns his head and you get that camera rolling in right into his face. And Sam was just perfect at that. And the one thing I feel like I noticed along the way in his Spider-Man trilogy is by the time he got to the third one, he went full on like with that, like with his camera work. Like he just went like it was
more or less the story that was the problem and not the direction.
It felt like he was like, I'm just going full Sam Raimi on this, and like, but like it was the story and Venom being involved and.
Yeah, the Sandman and
things like that.
And what's his friend? What's Peter Parker's friend? Harry Osborn.
It was just.
And to be honest, that model of superhero film wasn't laid out yet, where you could have multiple. At that time, it's like 3 villains. Oh my god! Like this is the best it's ever going to get. Yeah. Not like Marvel, and that's probably maybe the benefit that he's going to have this time around is. Marvel has gone through the work of 11 years of introducing multiple characters from previous films into a new film. Civil War is a great example. You had, at that point, around 7 years of groundwork laid out. And by the time you get to, I'm sorry, he's my friend, so was I, with Captain America and Tony Stark, it is breathtaking storytelling. And the fact that you were still able to have fun in that and be creative, I think it's going to benefit him in the long run. He doesn't have to worry about doing all that. He doesn't have to worry about consistency. He's just going to be, here's the tools, here's the instructions. Now you do and assemble it however you please. I think that's going to be a big deal for him.
Will we get a Bruce Campbell cameo?
All right, now you've mentioned the multiverse and the fact that Disney has sprung a new deal with Sony. This is another reason why, like, he's got some ties. Sam Raimi's got some ties and some pull. I would not be surprised if they're going to do the multiverse, I wouldn't be surprised if something snuck in.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Right? Like, I don't know what. I don't know when.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm expecting, like, this is going to be different. I mean, another movie I want to talk about at some point is the sequel for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That movie's coming out in 2022. They announced the date for that, or a year. I'm really excited for that. And the fact that they were able to pull off a multiverse film. Now Disney is going to have to pull off a multiverse film. What kind of multiverse are we getting? What kind of cameos are we going to get?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if we got some Fox cameos?
Oh.
Can you imagine? Let's just throw this out there. What if Chris Evans came back, but not as... Right? Right? Like, what if he came back not as Captain America, but as a previous character he was in a previous franchise?
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie has the potential of being a slam dunk movie for a solo character, which is something Marvel hasn't had to do for a while. But now you're not chasing stones anymore. You're not going after the gauntlet. What do they have left? Marvel's got a ton of stories, but we don't know what they're going to be. I have no idea what they're building towards. All we know is characters that will eventually be coming, which are the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, which means their villains are going to be probably coming. I imagine the next big bad, like we had with Thanos, is going to be Galactus.
I hope so.
It's like all signs are pointing that Galactus is going to be the next thing.
That's going to be
It's going to be the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully it ain't going to be a cloud in space either, like they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
No, this one's going to be very loyal.
And Feige, we trust.
Yeah.
And supposedly it's not going to be called X-Men, by the way. The rumor is that they're just going to be mutants.
Mm-hmm.
No X-Men, just the movie's going to be mutants.
I'm okay with that,
right?
As long as they eventually...
I haven't seen the trailer for New Mutants yet.
Oh.
You did.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I like it. Like it's got the horror vibe down. I don't know.
It's supposed to come out this year, right?
Apparently Kevin Feige viewed the film and didn't have like any issues with it.
He just probably went, go ahead.
Yeah, so
along with whoever there's a Victoria Alonso and there's Louis Esposito. One of the writers called him the three-headed Hydra. That's who's in charge of Marvel right now that Stan's passed and everything.
Yeah.
So it would be really cool to see what that movie might spawn off, because when we saw Logan, we really liked the little girl that did the daughter of Wolverine as well, and I didn't know if we were going to see a continuation of that. Laura was the character's name. It would be nice to see if they continue off that, because that's now a Disney property at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Never going to see that on Disney Plus though. No rated R content there. But I'm excited. I don't want to say nervous, but I'm excited. Not cautious, not nervous, but like, oh, okay. Maybe as time goes on, it'll get better. It's always better when you start seeing the first like screenshots or pictures, or you get movie info on like what the script is, because we have nothing. We're going on nothing other than Doctor Strange, Sam Raimi. Sounds delicious. How the hell is this going to be cooked?
I love the title. It's
multiverse of madness. The madness word is that's such a comic word, madness.
Yeah. Like, and I feel like Sam is perfect for that.
Let him loose. Let him loose.
And he's famous for torturing, his stars, like torturing Bruce and
Toby or Peter,
putting them through hell. So I can't imagine with that title.
Like,
I just imagine books being thrown, and
I like books being thrown. I want Evil Dead 2. That's what I want.
Oh yeah.
I don't want Army of Dark. I love Army of Darkness, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I saw that movie with my dad once. It was amazing. And now I have my own copy, but I want Evil Dead 2 where it can. I'm not the funny, but you can get a personality with that movie and still be dark and gritty.
Yeah.
I mean, he takes his hand off in that movie, his evil hand off in that movie, and then eventually attaches a chainsaw. Like, you gotta have, like, what that character has to go through to get to that point where he removes his hand and you get the blood splattering on his face and the laughter and screaming and terror. That sounds tasty.
Yeah.
If it can find its way into a Disney Marvel film, but there's no guarantee. That's the other thing.
To see Doctor Strange just losing his mind is like if that happens, like, oh man,
like just he doesn't know what to believe. He doesn't know what's going on. The master of the mystic arts is lost. He doesn't have the ancient one. Who knows if Wong's going to be in the film? He's also going to be. Oh, I can't remember. He was the sidekick in Doctor Strange and ends up becoming bad at the end or disagreeing with Doctor Strange. That character by I can't say his name, Chuda or like. Anyways, he's supposed to be coming back as possibly a villain. So I don't know what to expect as long as it's fun. I just want it to be fun in the right way, as in scary fun. If it's gonna be a horror film, go the whole way. Take that ball and run with it. Be a horror film. So it sounds exciting.
Yeah. I think I didn't know this, but Sam created Darkman because he couldn't secure the rights to Batman and the Shadow.
I didn't know that either.
I thought that was amazing. He just like created his own thing, and I was like, that's awesome. I wish we got like more of that. That's pretty cool. And who knows, like maybe someday we will once like Disney burns through all of like Stan Lee's creations.
We need more properties. Yeah, it's time.
So
I am waiting for the day that Marvel purchases DC. I think we're gonna get to that bridge in probably 10 years.
Yeah.
At least the movie rights wise. I don't see how they don't. DC's putting up a fight. God bless. They're trying.
Yeah.
They keep Birds of Prey.
Yeah. I heard that was the worst opening since Jonah Hex.
Woof.
Yeah. That's not too good.
Thanos was in that movie. But speaking of DC, and you're like, that's a cool Sam Raimi thing. So we're getting the Batman, which is probably going to take place in current times, right? Wouldn't that be cool if we saw them walking out of a theater in the mid-90s with the little boy, and they came out of the Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas and Anthony Hopkins and Catherine Zeta-Jones? Like, what kind of dumb, stupid, cute little thing that could be?
That'd be amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, let's put this kid in the 90s. Like, he'd be our age. He'd be a little younger at this point. Well, I don't know. Depends.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson, he's probably in his late 20s, early 30s at this point. Just imagine him coming out. What other movies were out around that time? Godzilla, maybe, or something like that. Like, honey, what movie would you like to see? And it's like you go, oh, The Mask of Zorro seems pretty cool. And that's where you get your inspiration for Batman from that one.
That'd be perfect.
Just a little stupid thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Well, what was it in Joker? It was Zorro and the Gay Blade, which is not the same movie from the past that he's seen. It was a Zorro film, but it wasn't that Zorro film. So if you're going to remake Batman, might as well common time or current times.
Give them some work.
Right? And the Oscars are coming out tomorrow, so I'm excited for that. Can't wait to see if Joker cleans up on any of the awards. We know Joaquin Phoenix, I hope he doesn't get robbed.
Yeah.
That movie was basically they have like 10 nominations for that movie. And Endgame has one or two. But like I said, DC keeps fighting. They keep plugging away. It's unbelievable that Shazam is your best rated film so far in that universe, which I have yet to see.
I can't.
Have you seen Shazam?
No. I don't really. Just seeing all the trailers that I just wasn't drawn to it. I love the character.
What, Shazam?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought the character was cool, but it didn't
do anything for you.
It seemed kind of dumb that
like this is what they're resorting to, where we got the first Man of Steel. It's all like dark and gritty and serious, and do we deserve a god that's amongst men? And then you get Batman v Superman, which was not a fun film to watch and was also dark and gritty. And then you get to the Justice League, which is
they're just taking stabs in the dark. Like the universe isn't coming together, so they're, like Suicide Squad didn't feel like it was part of.
You felt like it was a Guardians ripoff with the music too and the color and all that.
Yeah,
Like throwing a bunch of people together.
I don't love Zack Snyder, but it did not feel like it had that Zack Snyder stamp.
Marcus and McFeely, who wrote all the Captain Americas and the last 2 Avengers films, basically, when Kevin Smith asked him, how would you fix these movies? One of them was like, you start with one, as in one character that you're not used to, and you build on that. So Kevin Smith's like, oh my God, you just stole their advice from Justice League. Batman going, you start with one, you save one, and then you save another. And the other one was like, right now, there's a lot of spaghetti being thrown at the wall and nothing's sticking. Mm-hmm. And that's what it feels like. So they need to get away from the universe. But it feels like they're still trying with Birds of Prey. Like, where the hell is this going? I don't understand.
I didn't feel like Suicide Squad was that strong of a movie to build another one. Because this kind of feels like...
And they had a tag at the end of that movie, too, with Bruce Wayne and Waller talking about, like, she's basically handing him information on future metahuman prospects, and you see the Flash and Aquaman and all that kind of stuff. And I was kind of excited. We were excited. You and I were kind of excited watching some of those movies together. Like, we got cool. Like, look at that. Mm-hmm. I remember looking at you when we saw the Flash for the first time on screen. It was weird as hell, but it's like, we just got the Flash. Yeah. This is amazing. And then you get to the end and you see what you see.
I know.
And you get what you get, and it's not what you expected. Mm-mm. My girlfriend at the time kind of walked out.
Did you watch Justice League?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough.
By myself.
Oh, me too. Same here. That was a rough sit.
It was a rough go, yes. Pet Sematary. I was like, oh man, dude, come on. There were a few cool scenes. Like, one of my favorite scenes, like, well, there's not many, but just when the Flash is running up towards Superman after he's been awakened from death, and you see him charging, and then you see Henry Cavill's eyes just slowly turn, like, I see you, bitch, I got you. And you hear the original Superman, the John Williams Superman theme for like a split second or two. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty cool. But I really got nothing else after that.
Yeah.
I thought Bruce Wayne was really weak in that film. He was very un-Bruce Wayne-like. And we got a mechanical spider for no damn reason.
Yep.
Not like a bat.
I know.
It was a spider. I'm like, I'm like, what does a spider have to do with any of these guys? It moves slow as hell. It wouldn't even make a good toy if, like, you're marketing that.
I didn't Kevin Smith joke that was the spider that was from Wild Wild West.
Yeah, like, he still managed to get that spider in there. Like, oh, wouldn't that be something if they got Tim Burton to come back for any of these films?
I really want a third proper Tim Burton Batman.
Like, forget Batman Forever, even though he produced it. Just let's get that Michael Keaton.
That was a completely different animal.
By halfway through that film, you get that sinking feeling like, oh no, I don't think this film's going to turn out.
Even though I really like Batman Forever for like
different reasons. Like, they had some cool, like, imagine that the villains make it to the Batcave and find out who Batman is.
Yeah.
That should be like a monumental moment in a Batman Legacy movie. And it's just kind of like, you got Jim Carrey like making baseball jokes, throwing grenades in the Batmobile, which I think's kind of cool. At the time, it's Jim Carrey. He's on top of the world.
Yeah.
But that should, if you treated that film with some earnest, that should be something that's like an impactful, like game-changing, franchise-changing moment. And that movie hits right in not as many places as it should.
Yeah.
You get Harvey Dent. He flips a coin at the beginning, and then that coin never really matters for the rest of the time. He's just crazy going off the wall all over the place for another 80 minutes of that film. Wasn't until the very end where he's like, I must flip my coin. And Batman just throws a bunch of change up in the air and kills him. And you see 40-year-old Robin just staring at him as they fall into the abyss or whatever.
God. But that Batman and Robin, that was the worst one. I can't even.
They played hockey.
Yep.
He pulled out a MasterCard to buy a woman. Like, that's slavery. Did Harvey Weinstein produce that movie? I have to look that up. I can't believe it. Because that's something that he would do. No, Weinsteins didn't do that. No, Tim Burton. That was still a Tim Burton thing. But, like, yeah, let's objectify a villain by buying her romance for a night. Don't leave the cave without it.
Yeah.
Like, even Val Kilmer had that I'll get drive-through line in the Batman Forever. But back to what you're saying, if we got a proper third Batman, are you saying Batman Beyond in a style, or do you just want a third? Because that's what people are gearing towards. Like,
I know.
Michael Keaton is in his 60s, and he looks great for his 60s, and he looks right for Batman Beyond.
I don't want him to be that Batman and Batman Beyond character where he's just sitting in the Batcave.
What if you saw him pass it off?
Yeah, like if he could pass it off
and then become that guy,
like
that by the end of the film.
I would, because I want to see. I still want that Dark Knight Returns, gritty Frank Miller. That
we kind of just got.
Zack Snyder was trying to go there, but
we kind of got that with Joker this year.
Oh yeah,
like we got that.
That's the gritty darkness. That would be perfect.
Like the talk show, instead of him gassing the entire room and audience, he just flat out shoots.
Yeah.
Murray Franklin. I think. But if you want Tim Burton to complete, he's not going to do something like that's not his style.
Definitely not.
He's not bloody.
Yeah.
And he loves monsters. He loves, but he's not going to do that. So maybe you get that film without Tim Burton, but it's not true. So you got to pick and choose what you're going for.
Yeah.
I would love the idea of a Batman Returns where maybe we can get a backstory. Well, they do all that de-aging now, like in movies.
Yeah.
You can find a way to de-age Michael Keaton and why he stopped being the Batman. Like in a flashback scene of some kind. Maybe it's him failing Robin. Maybe it's him. What's the Robin in Batman Returns? What's her name? Carrie?
Yes.
Like, I'm ready for that Robin. I don't want Nightwing. I don't want Dick Grayson. I don't want Jason. I want Carrie in some sort. Like, I'm longing for that moment where we get just the smart girl that's athletic, that wants to just be involved. I'm ready for that. I think that would be great.
I want to see Michael Keaton go for like one last ride.
Right?
Just he's broken. Like, he's been out of the game for a while, but he's coming back, and
he doesn't have Alfred though. Michael Guff is pretty dead, so he would have to be like on his own.
Yeah, totally. Like, he's lost everything that he had. So
that would be like the one change you would make in that.
And then he would meet the Terry McGinnis character at the end to like say, hey, old man, you need some help. And that bridges to go into a follow-up movie.
Michelle Pfeiffer's still around too.
Yes.
I saw I got you right there. Even though they killed off a lot of his, that's what's really sucks Two.
Maybe he's walking down Arkham Asylum and he sees Billy D. Williams as Two-Face. Like, hey, it happened. We didn't see it, but it happened.
Like, you got me right there. I thought you were going to say Arnold for a second. I'm like, oh. But, oh my God, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You just pulled a Mark Bernard and you wrote a better movie without even trying.
I've been wanting that for like so long.
Well, in that case, do you bring Marlon Wayans in as Robin at some point?
Maybe. Like
that was the talk for a while.
He could be, you could have him be Nightwing, like.
Right? As in he's already taken off and done his thing.
Yeah, like he's no longer has any ties with Bruce Wayne.
He's just off doing his thing.
You know, like him and Batman had their thing, but
that's over now.
They split. He sees that Bruce Wayne, Batman is just going too far and he's never going to stop. So that's why you had that distance. So
oh man, is that great? That's fantastic. Like, I didn't even think about that. You could do a lot of villains right. I mean, that they have, like, you could do Scarecrow. Like if you wanted to. If Tim Burton wanted to, he could probably do a really good Scarecrow. Mm-hmm. It sounds like a too good to be true idea, but they keep kicking that can down the road. Like, they keep... The internet won't let that die. Won't let Michael Keaton give up being Batman. Like, you know what? He's not as bad. Like... Yeah, he killed people. That Batman killed people, but...
He's been so good in playing the Vulture and then playing
And apparently
Birdman.
he's going to be back as the Vulture again.
Yeah.
In Morbius.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw the trailer, he's at the end of that. Like, so what the hell? This multiverse, this is all too much. Like, nobody knows what's going on. What a time to be alive for fandom. So I'm excited to see all this and talk about it more.
Yeah.
It's just all too great. All too fantastic.
Totally. Well, let's wrap it up there.
It was a good time talking about all this stuff. It is really exciting.
I can't wait for more Sam Raimi movies, please.
I can't wait for your movies that don't exist yet to come out. It's going to be fantastic. I can't, like, you got me at, like, I didn't, like, Billy D. Williams, he was just in The Rise of Skywalker. He did nothing, but it's still, like, he doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Him sitting in a jail cell with a mangled face just could tell a story right there. So I'm excited. So who knows? Maybe one day. But until that day, we'll just have to wait.
Yeah. See you next time, guys.
Thank you. Bye.